Welcome back to Half the Battle. I'm your host as always, Daniel Levi, and joining me now is lightweight prospect Brandon Longano. Brandon, welcome to Half the Battle.
Thank you for having me.
Oh man, the pleasure's all mine. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me on the day that you got engaged, man.
Thank you very much, dude. I appreciate it. No problem.
So man, what's a bigger accomplishment? Getting back-to-back wins over the UFC vet and the Bellator vet, or marrying your best friend this very day? Getting engaged to your best
Man,
friend.
we didn't get married. We're engaged, but I don't want to answer this incorrectly. No, man, it's awesome to get back-to-back wins over these two really tough guys. But no, man, you can't put a price on marrying your best friend and living happily ever after.
Man, that's incredible. And dude, ever since you had that 1L as an amateur, dude, you just been taking off. You've been finishing all these guys left and right. What was it about that one fight that led you to where you are now?
Man, it's you constantly think about things all the time. And when you lose, it makes it even worse, So there was a time period after that. I didn't know if I wanted to keep fighting or not. Warren Thompson put it in my head one day, man, either you do or either you don't. And I just kind of walked away from it for a little while, and I drove 18-wheelers with my dad for 6 months. And those 6 months, man, it's a long time to think when you're sitting there driving anywhere from 8 to 12 hours a day, So once I made the commitment to come off of the truck and stop doing that and do MMA full time, like that was my goal. That was my commitment to myself and my family. And yeah, man, you just got to do it, dude. There's anything else in your life. If you really, really want it that bad, you're just going to put one foot in front of the other. You're going to do the footwork, and you're either going to get it done or you're not. That's all there is to it.
So, ever since then, dude, you've been looking better than ever. Now, in your style, man, you're very tall for the weight class. You love beating up dudes in that clinch. How'd you develop that very clinch-heavy attack? And when I say clinch-heavy, I'm not talking about boring the crowd to sleep. I'm talking about landing devastating knees.
I just feel like that's come natural, really, with my fighting. And we didn't even really want to get in that exchange with Joe this fight at all. I wanted to stand and trade with him the whole fight, but he kind of took me out of my game plan, man. The guy hits like he looks like he hits, He hits like he's got hands made out of concrete, so he took me out of my game plan a little bit. I wanted to stand and trade shots with him, but I don't know, man. I've been throwing knees in that clinch since my very first amateur fight. I like being there. I don't know. It's comfortable. It's natural. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I really noticed it in the Warren Smith fight. Obviously you finished that fight and it was a very effective weapon there. But here at center stage, it kind of showed, like you said, you wanted to go in there and stand and bang with the guy, but then you ended up falling back on those devastating knees. So, what is it about that, man?
I don't know. For the Warren Smith fight, we wanted to kind of go there because I knew that guy was going to hit hard. He hit every bit as hard as I thought he was going to. Byron Bloodworth, man, the guy shows up every single day and makes me better every single day, man. And we work a lot of clinch. I've been working with Luke Nealand a little bit in the gym lately, and same thing, man. Lots of clinch. I don't know. It just comes natural, man. It's easy. It's an easy go-to for me.
So, man, you're really early into your career, but you've already accomplished some big things. Like I mentioned earlier on the show, you're coming off wins over a UFC vet, a Bellator vet. You're managed by the same person that manages the UFC featherweight champion, Max Holloway. How are you able to kind of, take things at the right pace this early in your career?
Do or don't, man. That's really all there is to it. This is not a long. The longevity of a fighter's career is not. It's not a thing, really. Just the opportunities and your windows of opportunity are super short. So when I don't pick and choose fights. When they call and ask you, hey, do you want to fight Clay Harbison? Yes, I want to fight Clay Harbison because he has fought in the UFC before, and that's where I want to go. Hey, do you want to fight Joe Elmore because he's been in Bellator, and that's a place, where I would like to potentially go. As far as being with SuckerPunch Entertainment, Byron Bloodworth, my main coach, he got with SuckerPunch Entertainment early on, and their infancy as a company. And being just being in the right place at the right time with the right people, man. If it wasn't for Byron, if I never would have met him, I never would have had any of these fights. But he's the sole reason I'm with SuckerPunch Entertainment right now. So it's word of mouth. It's like anything else in life. If you want to get ahead, it helps if you know people, to kind of steer you in those right directions and whatnot. So.
What does it do for your confidence getting those kind of wins this early in your career, man? Because I know that you watch these guys as professionals when you were an amateur.
Oh, it's crazy. It's all mind blowing. 5 pro fights in this past year alone, and yeah, it's mind blowing, man. I never. Those are the things you think about as an amateur. That's the whole point of your amateur career. Can I deal with all of the true grit and grime and tough it out and hopefully get there? So yeah, when you get there, man, it's pretty awesome, dude. And it says a lot. A lot of guys that both of these guys have beat that I look up to, that I just never would even dream of being able to share the cage with. So it's awesome, man. It's a great feeling, dude.
So I want to talk about your only professional loss, and I don't bring it up to be a dick. I bring it up because it shows that you're the kind of guy that's super mentally strong. You can overcome adversity, and since then, you're coming off the 2 biggest wins of your career. What went through your mind mentally, the days, the weeks, the months after your only professional defeat?
Oh, man, it sucked, dude. It was the way that it happened, he went out there and took care of business quick. So I don't want to, it's a fight, obviously. It's on my record. But, man, I threw one little kick. He capitalized on it. It was a 20-second fight, man. So I don't even know if you can count that. But it's, I had a friend tell me that you don't really lose anything in there, man. You lose a fight. You don't lose anything else, and it's all really how you want to deal with it. It all depends on how big your ego is. At the end of the day, yeah, you lost a fight, but everything else in your life stays the exact same. So we didn't take too much time off. That fight that happened in March, and I was ready to. I think I agreed to fight Clay in May. So I took no damage, obviously, because I got put to sleep in 21 seconds, I think it was. But it was right back to the drawing board, man. I was literally. I don't think I went to sleep at all that night, and I was in the gym on the treadmill literally at like 8 o'clock in the morning the next morning. So I didn't want to. I just wasn't going to sit and dwell on it. And it's just fighting, so more losses are going to happen. Let's be real. That's just the way it goes. But you just can't dwell. I think Conor McGregor said it. You can't dwell in the past, or else you'll live there. And I'm not trying to live there. As rematching him goes, that would be great. I know he's injured right now, so I'm not going to say anything dirty. I'm not going to undermine him at all. I know his camp has publicly said a few times that he's injured. I think I've proven myself to his camp. His coach came out and said, yeah, that fight would be great. If Wes is healthy, they could run it back, but I got to wait for him to be healthy. You know what I mean? And if the stars ever align again, I would take that fight in a heartbeat, man. Absolutely.
So, is that what's next for you, or are you looking to get on the Contender Series? What do you think's next for Brandon Longano?
Man, the Contender Series would be amazing. Any short replacement fight for, a big name would be amazing. I told my manager, just give me until my wedding date, which is just right around the corner. Let me get through that before I take any short notice, just so I can keep, happy wife, happy life. But after that, man, I'm game for anything. If Wesley Barnes is what's up, if that's next, then hell yeah. If the Contender Series call, man, like I said, I don't pick and choose. My manager calls Byron. Byron calls me. We talk about it. It's really cut and dry, man, and I haven't said no out of anybody yet. So, they call, they ask, I give them the answer, and that's pretty much it, man. So whichever way, they could go 1,000 ways, man. Whichever one they say go to, that's where I'll go.
Yeah, I know you're the kind of guy that'll fight anyone, anytime, any place, but when you look at your career progression, do you think you're ready to swim with the Sharks at 155 pounds in the UFC?
Man, the greatest thing that could happen, I think there's a fight card like December 2nd in Detroit or something like that. If one of those guys could get injured and my manager calls me and asks me for early replacement, I'm there, dude. 100%.
Man, that would be an incredible opportunity. I hope you get it. And real quick, man, your nickname, Behemoth. You a big heavy metal fan or what?
Dude, I'm a huge heavy metal fan. I got Behemoth tattooed across my stomach when I was like 19, like an idiot, and it just kind of sat there. And I'm a huge fan of death metal. Behemoth is a death metal band. If anybody out there listening, take note, check them out. They're amazing. They're from Poland. But yeah, big metal fan. Have been, since I was like 12 years old, man.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, a lot of people might not know about the band Behemoth. I know exactly who they are. They actually took my brother's old band out on tour back in the Ozfest days, bro. My brother was in a band called Doth, and they opened for Behemoth. It was pretty cool.
Hell yes, dude. That's impressive, man. I played in music for a little bit. I never got to achieve something that awesome, but I got to meet the lead singer a couple times. We've talked once or twice on social media. He knows who I am. I know who he is. So, yeah, huge fan, man. It's pretty honored whenever that guy gave me a shout out on the interwebs there. That was pretty cool, man.
That's pretty badass. They know about you.
Oh man, I was freaking out for sure. That one was cool, man. I was stoked for that. So.
Hey, so do you know if he's doing better?
Yeah, man. He's been he's survived. I think it was bone marrow cancers. I know a fan from wherever out in the world matched the bone marrow transplant and took it, and yeah, he was in the hospital for however long. They've came out and made an album since then. They've toured a whole bunch and stuff since then, man. So yeah, it's pretty incredible. A guy gets diagnosed with a terminally ill cancer and he conquers it, man. Conquer all. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. That's the sign of a world champion. Now, Brandon, before I let you go, man, I can't let you go without a couple fight predictions. So, GSP is taking on Bisping. I mean, look, GSP hasn't fought in about 4 years. He's moving up a weight class, and he's taking on the champion, Michael Bisping. Who do you think is going to take that one?
I think Michael Bisping just going to ragdoll him for 5 rounds, dude. Michael Bisping, unanimous decision. He just beats the crap out of GSP for 5 rounds. Because GSP's not going to quit. He's not a quitter. But I think he's been gone too long, and he's coming up a weight class. Michael Bisping is the guy, man. He's, season 2, I'm pretty sure, of The Ultimate Fighter. He's never said, I need to take a break. I need to go away for a little while. You know what I mean? Like, that guy's been in it to win it since day one, and I think he takes it.
Yeah, Bisping's as tough as they come. Well, in your division, it hasn't officially been announced, but we all know it's going to be Conor McGregor versus Tony Ferguson for the lightweight title. I mean, who do you think is going to walk away the number 1 lightweight on planet Earth?
I'd like to see Tony Ferguson take him to the ground and wrap him up in some funky 10th Planet stuff, man. I think that would be awesome. Nothing against Conor McGregor, but I would like to see Tony Ferguson win that unified strap for sure. You
think you can avoid the big left?
Man, that's a big one. That's the one you got to watch out for. If it gets out of the first round, yeah, I think so.
That's a good point. And last but not least, the champion Max Holloway is defending his belt against Frankie the Answer Edgar, the legend. I mean, it's one of the best featherweight fights of all time. You thinking the champ's retaining his belt here?
SuckerPunch Entertainment, number 1, conquer all. I think he takes out Frankie Edgar in the second round, just like he did Jose Aldo.
Awesome. Well, Brandon, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me right here, right now on Half the Battle. Congrats again on the engagement and the victory. Let the audience know where they can follow you on social media and any message for the fans. Go ahead, bro.
I think my Instagram is BML1987. And then you can find me on Twitter at Behemoth87, I believe is my little name on there. And just thanks for tuning in, man. You guys keep your eyes and ears open, man. I'll be taking a fight before the year's over with, probably. And do you be happy? Life is good.
Yes, sir, Brandon. Thanks again for the time, and best of luck in the next step, man.
Thank you very much, man.